आप मुझे पहले ही जानते हो, आई टॉक अ लॉट अबाउट स्किन केयर, ठीक है? बट आज हम बात करते हैं उस इंसान के साथ में हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल इन मेकिंग ओरिफ्लेम स्किन केयर, ठीक है? ये इंसान ने 1500 प्लस फॉर्मुलेशंस बनाए हैं और ये 20 ईयर्स से है ओरिफ्लेम। एंड आज की तरह रोज दिन तो नहीं होता है मेरा व्हेन आई गेट टू मीट साइंटिस्ट। सो गाइस, लेट्स वेलकम एडम।
Hey everybody, nice to be here.
So, Adam, I'll be asking you a few questions if you're comfortable.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, people talk a lot about skincare, but they don't are very aware like how to use and what are the ingredients about everything. So, I'll be asking few questions if that's cool with you.
Yeah. So,
So, my first question, Adam, with pollution and heat increasing in India, how has Oriflame adopted its formulation suitable for Indian skin tones?
there's two ways that we're looking to adopt the formulations. The first is looking at the textures, so making sure that we're making things more lightweight and more comfortable to wear, especially considering humidity. So that's been a big focus for us because we want to make sure that the people like the product experiences and enjoy using the products. The second thing is looking at the technology to be able to address the pollution and making sure that we've got the right things in the formulations to be able to provide a visible shield, but also strong antioxidants to try and negate the effects of like oxidative stress.
So I guess the new range which is coming up is more of that you're talking about.
Exactly, yeah. We've developed a texture so you've got something there for oily, so oily skin or combination skin, so it's lighter. We've also got those products where there's dry skin bleach, you've got the extremes in terms of here as well. But then the technology, you're right. We've got the new technology that's looking at this protective shield, but also this strong antioxidant that helps with the oxidative stress.
And that is just free steps, I guess. I'm gonna love that.
Yes, that's one of the big changes with Optimals. We try to simplify it to fit into people's busy lives to make it convenient to use, but also without sacrificing the performance.
So moving on to second question. We always talk about vitamin C and retinol.
Yeah.
But what are the lesser known ingredients in Oriflame we use?
So one of the ones that we spoke today, Ectoin, which is going to be like pitched as the next generation gold standard active. This is something that's been introduced to Optimals in the first time into the oil moisturizer. And that's something to keep an eye on because it's a multifunctional ingredient, helps protect the skin, but it works in an unusual way compared to some of the active as well with these hydration shells that it forms.
So as I have learned today, retinol is not suitable for all skin types.
No,
But what you are telling that might be suitable for everyone?
retinol is the gold standard. It has so many good benefits in terms of how it works. The only downside of retinol is it can be quite aggressive to people's skin. So, like you say, people need to try it and see
If
does it
that
suit
works
my
for them
skin?
or not.
Yeah. So what we usually say is start slowly, try it a little, see how your skin reacts, and if it's looking okay, start introducing a bit more actually as well. But it's be careful. That's the main thing.
You played a major role in developing Oriflame products. How do you balance natural ingredients and scientific actives in formulation?
It's a very good question. The important point to point out is they both have their role to play. Natural ingredients are very good. They're good for the skin. They have a good affinity for the skin. But sometimes we need to use synthetic ingredients, and this is because they can be more stable, but they also can provide certain benefits that natural ingredients can't, such as UV filters. So it's all about getting the balance and making sure that we're using ingredients for the right reasons and being transparent on why we're doing that.
Okay. I feel Novage Plus is one of the range where we have a good combination of such.
Exactly. It's like, especially in the beige, we have some materials that are from natural origin when it comes to the additives, but some are from synthetic origin. And it's all about making the decision based on what's right in terms of
For suitable for all.
Exactly, yeah.
So a lot of my clients ask about instant versus long-term results. How does Oriflame design skincare that delivers both without compromising the safety?
It's exactly what you're saying there. It's making sure that we, as part of the formulation design, as part of the actives that we research and look into incorporating, it's being clear on what skin benefits we're trying to target, instant and long term, and designing the formulations to do that, as well as the testing to be able to validate that as well. So yeah, it's critical in terms of the plan and how we execute and then test and validate.
And one of the reasons I love Oriflame is about, we always keep safety first and then the formulation.
Yeah.
And sometimes we take, I guess, long years to launch a product. So just because the safety shouldn't be compromised.
It's a mixture. So some of the reasons that it takes so long is due to the active ingredient research.
Okay.
Some of the actives that have been featured in the Navage Plus and Navage previously, it's just that it takes so long to try and find the best solution to deliver and continue that research. But you're right, the big part of that is when we're looking at new active ingredient discovery, we need to make sure that they're safe. We need to make sure that they work in a safe way.
So I remember prior we had a range name only Novage. How long years you have been developing that?
That one was around originally, including the active research, was around 5 years. And then when we just done the recent Navage, that was around 4 to 5 years as well.
So Oriflame doesn't just launch a product, we actually research so much and then launch.
It depends on the brand. In some cases, we want to execute and be on trend. So, for instance, if it's like new shades of color, we want to try and get those out there as quickly as possible to meet the So it's a mix in terms of making sure we're
But when
getting the
it
right
comes to
opportunity.
skincare, I guess we take a long time.
Especially for the performing routines, yeah, it's making sure that we've got the right active solutions, that those active solutions work in the formulations, because that's one of the things that people might not know is we can get an active ingredient that's brilliant, but when we put it into a formulation, sometimes that formulation can fall apart. So we need to build a formulation around the active to make sure that it's stable and it also gives the nice texture and the experience that we're looking for as well. So yeah, it's the other thing then as well is looking at the ingredient, the individual formulation, but it's also how we develop the set then as well as a routine and making sure that when we layer the products that they work together in harmony as well.
So what ingredients or trend do you think in the skincare range is personally overhyped?
The ones I'd say is more the free from in terms of being misleading. And the reason I say that is not everybody's being transparent about why they're including the ingredients. And that's the one thing that's important is consumers need to understand why ingredients aren't being used. Sometimes it's being played up to fear or hype. So that's one thing that we're trying to be transparent on is if we're not using the ingredient, we're explaining the why. Is it due to safety reasons? Is it due to consumer perception reasons? Or is it due to sustainability reasons? So that's the biggest thing for me is we need to be credible what we're doing and be able to explain that as well.
So moving on to next question, India's climate ranges from humid to extreme dry. Okay, how does Oriflame customize product to perform well, which you can work across all skin types?
Having a diverse portfolio. So again, it's understanding people's needs and able to develop the product. So like in the case with Optimals, we have the light and the rich creams again to try and balance between the humid versus the dry as well. So while we look at skin types, is also trying to factor in climatic conditions and other external factors that could influence it as well.
I get that now. I had that confusion since a long time.
So many things you need to consider, so it's not straightforward.
From scientist viewpoint, how we should layer skincare products?
That's another good question. One thing to make sure is that you fully remove the cleanser, and then when you start to apply the products, make sure that they're fully absorbed before you apply the next layer. Sometimes what can happen if the previous product isn't absorbed, it can leave a layer on the skin. So when you apply the next product, it can start to the other key thing to consider as well is the amount of product you use. So playing around with that as well can be important depending on how quickly your product, so your skin absorbs the product, and again how much you need depending on the condition of your skin as well.
Oh. Now that's a personal one for you. What's one innovation in skincare you personally proud of from working at Oriflame?
There's been quite a few over the years, but I think the one that stands out the most, just because again, coming back to what you were saying about the time it took to develop, and again, a very personal involvement is the Age Plus. The lengths you went to in terms of checking everything from the ingredient research to the individual formulations, what should be in the routine, the makeup. So much energy and effort went into that from the team. That's the one that stands out the most, just because it was a pure passion project in terms of making sure it was the best it could be.
So my viewers know already I am somebody a fan of Novage Plus products, and I keep on talking about Novage Plus every now and then. So now I get it, why you're proud of that.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where the whole team, because so much into it, they're so proud, especially when we get good feedback on people like the products as well.
Okay, the last one. So people watching here are more of the people skin enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Any message for them?
Thank you for using Oriflame skincare, and please. The important thing to remember is everybody's skin journey is different. So don't be afraid to mix things up to suit your own individual skin needs. And thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.